this is in us, a birth. I think this is something that we have in us. Dancing like that, they often wonder how can we dance like we did. And Caucasians, they always couldn't dance. They couldn't dance a lick. When I was a kid, looking at them at the high schools and places where we played for their dancing parties they had, they couldn't dance. They didn't know, they couldn't follow rhythm. They just moved and walked. Now their dancing was taking each other by the arm, and they'd walk out in the floor, side, not in the center, but the side, and they'll walk 3 or 4 steps and turn. And walk 3 or 4 steps and turn. Now that's how I remember them as a kid when I first started going, to those dances of theirs at the schools. And but when we got out there on that floor, they always were glad to see us go because they always stayed on the sideline. They waited for us to come out on the floor. So when we made up our mind, we're gonna dance now, put some good music on. We start grabbing our partners and stuff like that, and then they form a whole ring around us. You see them come out where they at, doorways, talking with each other in groups and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, their attention on us. They want to see us dance. So they was the ones that they called the viewers of us dancing. Because to us, they didn't know how to dance. And they learned by what they was watching. And that was us dancing.
We was a show for them.
We was the show for them. Because they couldn't do what we was doing. And they were so excited about watching us do what we was doing. So they humoring us really.
Fun for them to just sit back and watch.
Yeah, every now and then you see 1 or 2 will try to make the same steps we're making. Then all of a sudden they'd be trying to do what we're doing. Now, it's history now. Now it's dancing, some of them dancing better than we are. That's like in sports, same way. Yeah, but they learn from us. It's like a lot of things they learn from us. What makes it so bad, they don't treat us as equals, and that's what I never liked. Just like, we're not as good as they are. To be prejudiced, that's the feeling that you get, that they think we're not as good as they are.
Tell me how you got started playing the horn, the trumpet.
Oh,
you were how old then, and where'd you get it from?
Oh boy, I was really young. I was about 4, 5, 6 years old, I guess, when I got interested in the trumpet, because I found one, an old beat up trumpet that I found side the road. They used to throw trash and stuff side the road back then in my generation. And I happened to find one. It was banged up and no mouthpiece to it, but I cut my lip to many times just trying to play that thing until I could find a mouthpiece. Then when I found a mouthpiece, I completed a mouthpiece, and this guy over there on Prospect Street, and he was teach music, and I asked him would he help me learn how to play this trumpet. And so anyhow, he made a deal with me. He said, well, if you could just bring in 50 cents, he said, I'll show you the notes and how to blow it. He said, and then you have to do most of that at home. But he said, just bring me 50 cents and we'll start in. And I said, okay. So that's when I started hustling up jump and bottles and stuff like that to earn 50 cents so I could pay him to learn how to play, him to teach me how to play the trumpet. And that happened for maybe a couple, 3 years, I guess it was, on and off. Yeah, I just give me notes to blow, back and forth, over and over again, to get started on how to blow the horn and how to reach, different notes and stuff like that on the horn.
have people you looked up to, locally or nationally?
Yeah, I always itemize, what's his name, Louis Armstrong, and yeah, Harry James and Louis Armstrong and Billy Butterfield. He was my favorite trumpeters,
Yeah.
and I always, want to play like them.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, that's what inspired me to play the trumpet. That's Louis Armstrong. Really my favorite at that time. I wasn't no television back then.
no, just the radio then.
Yeah, just radio.
Okay.
All radio. I remember when Louis Armstrong was going to play here out to Clark's Lake, and by being black, we couldn't go out there. They wouldn't allow us in to see when he's entertaining in Jackson area or Michigan area, where it's all white, no blacks. But I sure wanted to see him in person playing. Out the Bardens, out there at Pleasant Lake, same way. I heard he was here, and we couldn't go out to see him because of being black. It was real prejudice back in my generation. No blacks. Door right reserve signs was up. They used that for the right not to let blacks in.
It's, what the sign say?
Door right reserve. They had the door right reserve signs up in downtown Jackson at some of the business places, restaurants, and like Coney Island there, Fort of Coney Island. They had door right reserve sign on that corner restaurant.
And
Can't think of the name of it now. Virginia Lunch. They had a door right reserve sign on that door, which we went in every now and then to get a hot dog or a hamburger or something, but we had to buy it to go, and we couldn't eat in there. And sometimes we try to sit down and eat, and they say we don't. How did that guy put that? 2 or 3 places put it the same way. He said 95% of the people we serve, and 5% we don't. I had that happen with the Polish people too on Page Avenue. They were come that way about percentage. Said, well, let me tell you how to explain that, boys. 95% of the people we serve, and 5% we don't, and y'all's in the 5% group.
like, what does that mean? That don't make no sense.
Yeah, he's letting you know that you're not welcome there. You're not going to buy nothing there at the state. We could go in at the counter and get the food to go, but we couldn't eat inside the restaurant.
Couldn't sit down. So let alone buy a ticket to the shows.
Yeah.
No way.
And when I let you in, if you went to see a show that was advertised in the paper, live entertainment, no blacks allowed. The door right reserved. Where they say where they can refuse you.
And were there any black-owned clubs at that? Were there any black-owned clubs at the time people went to, bars or nothing?
No, really, we didn't have nobody I know, black had the money or, to operate or own a business place. me and Leon Robeson and Elvin Jones and I can't think of the other two. I think it's one or two more people. I can't think of their names right now.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, we entered that restaurant downtown, and they took their time and they didn't come and wait on us till 2 or 3 or 4 other white people we seen coming there, and they was waiting on, but they ignored us for quite a while. Then all of a sudden, the waitress, I guess they talked it over in the kitchen somewhere, because we had seen them come out of the kitchen to come over like they were going to wait on us, and asked us, what did y'all want? So we ordered some. I think, yeah, we ordered, and they took it. Then they brought the food back and displayed it by dropping it on the table, doing all that stuff to make you discouraged. I had that happen many times with the whites when there's prejudice down. The ones that was prejudice downtown. Yeah. I can tell you some more stories about things like that happening. Let you know you really don't want to be served, but they're gonna serve you right now because they figured something was up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they better serve you.
Yeah. So anyhow, we was gonna get something else. It was. They said y'all had enough or something like that. They said, and they wouldn't bring nothing else for us. But they made a statement that you was served, so they know what we was up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you was served, Yeah. Yeah, it was prejudice heck back then. Yeah, the only thing we had to relate to being black we seen black men downtown sweeping the floors and sweeping. Well, that's all we ever heard during that era of time where blacks got jobs sweeping janitor work, and that's about.
That's it.
Before we seen him in the work capacity was janitorial work. And at the hotel now where I worked at, we was porters and sweeping the streets.
Sweeping streets, yeah.
Yeah, that was a Murray. That's the only man I remember ever seeing downtown doing any type of black man doing any type of work, income, was sweeping the streets. That was Mr. Murray. Everybody know him, Jackson. We had a lot of theaters back then. When I was a kid, there was about 9 theaters in Jackson, which is hard to believe that today.
Yeah.
But back then, we had a lot of theaters in Jackson.
Nice buildings too, nice, ornate and stuff.
Yeah, we had the Hayes Hotel, which is well known from New York to Chicago. That was well known for the trafficking of the salesmen and stuff, stopping and overnight staying and stuff like that. So we could make a little money there. I did as a kid coming up. I started there at 18. I worked there until I was about 21. Then I went to the shop where I retired from for 35 years.
Now, what type of work was it at the hotel and
Busboy. That's all blacks could. The best jobs I'd seen blacks have was busboys, like I was saying, porter, busboys, bellhops. Bellhop's about the best job I know. You know I had to mess up
That's good. That's good.
every time. Yo, and he couldn't golf. Yo, my brother Joe, he always loved golf as a kid, and hoped that he'd be a golfer someday. No, he probably could have been because he was real good at golfing. But the most he could do was get on the golf course by what they call it, caddying for the golfers, the white golfers. The black wasn't allowed on the golf course, so he always did his high hitting and learning and stuff out in the fields and stuff like that, out in the park. But on that golf course, no blacks. Couldn't join the club either. But he turned out to be real good. He trained those two brothers that was well known, white brothers that was well known in Jackson. Now I can't think of their name.
Mich.
And he was real famous at one time.
Yep, I remember watching them golf all the time.
Joe helped teach them when they was little boys because they got Joe to caddy for them.
Wow.
And while he's caddying, he was telling them how to hit the ball and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
They had long careers too. So
Yeah, they had long careers, yeah. He was in the big money there for a while. Yeah, and as a kid, Joe helped teach him as a kid how to play golf.
And couldn't use the course.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Joe was a good golfer. But just being black, he's held back. Yeah, I never didn't know who the golfer was